Hello, Saturnians! Welcome to my little magical corner of the universe. My garden is a work in progress, but today I want to share with you a little bit of my sacred space outdoors. I have been spending long hours in my garden since pandemic started, and I am so grateful to have a place to relax, have my morning coffee, consult my tarot cards, and hear the birds. I have been trying to create the perfect environment for my fairies, as they have been helping me in my practice a lot, energizing my potions and spells and helping me take care of the plants. Sometimes I meditate here and I can almost see them flying around my flowers, especially when I have mushroom tea. My cats seem to love it here also, which I take as a good sign, as cats can sense the energy of places. So the fact that she hangs out in my garden a lot tells me that I have accomplished something. As you can see, pink and purple flowers are my favorite. I love the contrast between the bright blue sky and the bold colors. In the very hot Brazilian weather, bougainvilleas are everywhere all year round. I think they are originally from Brazil, and I surely have it in my garden. I like to come to my garden first thing in the morning with a cup of hot coffee and my tarot cards, so that I can pick my cards for the day. And today is a Queen of Cups day. I love to see my flowers in my cards. This is from the Victorian Fairy Tarot. I love bringing my fairy decks to my garden. I think they belong here. So I have this little table here for my tarot cards and my morning coffee. And here I have some fennel. The central area is where I perform my rituals. And that tree over there is where my fairy house is. So just the other day, I learned that the name of these orange flowers in English is nasturtium. I think I'm pronouncing correctly. I learned it from my friend over at Empress Song. Go check her channel because she has wonderful garden tours as well. And this is Jessica. This is an entity that I created. I created this garden servitor to help me, in my rituals here in the garden. I'll talk about her in a minute. I have here this beautiful, I don't know the name of this plant in English, but I love it. And here I have fuchsia flowers. And they are my absolute favorite. Look how gorgeous. They attract the hummingbirds and the butterflies. I think they are beautiful and they are evergreen in this weather. So all year round, I have this beautiful fuchsia. And over there, I have this beautiful ornamental sweet potato. I think that's how you call it in English. And it's a witchy plant that I love. When I saw this deep purple plant, I just had to have it. I mean, it's purple. Of course, I love it, right? All right, so here you can see little bits of my garden. I have rosemary here. I use rosemary a lot in my practice and also for cooking. And pumpkins, I have lots of pumpkins, and these ones I am going to give to my neighbors because I cannot eat all these pumpkins even if I try my hardest. So here is my little fairy house. I'm gonna give you a fairy house tour at the end. My fairy house used to be in another tree tree and then I moved it here, but now I am worried because these are carnivorous plants and the insects, they stay trapped inside the carnivorous plant. So even though fairies are not technically insects, I am worried that my carnivorous plant is going to eat my fairies. And I don't have the answer for that. Google doesn't have the answer for that. So if you have this information, please let me know in the comments. Do you think that my carnivorous plant is going to eat my fairies? Let me know because, I don't want them to be eaten like that. So yeah, I'll have to figure this out. And actually, my carnivorous plant looks like there are testicles hanging from my tree. Look, they look like testicles, which is okay. I mean, testicles are adorable. Without them, we would not be here, right? So I don't have a problem with testicles hanging from my tree. I just don't want my carnivorous plant to eat my fairies. So that's all I'm worried about. All right. So now I show you these little flowers. I don't know how to call them in English, but they're beautiful. And they take over, the space. Here I have some flowers that need a little bit of shadow. They don't like direct sunlight. So I have some violets here. I love using violets as offerings to the fairies. So I make fairy cake with violets. I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description box for you to check that out. And here I have a newborn Venus flytrap. Yes, I love carnivorous plants. And this is a baby Venus flytrap. And I love it so much. I have 2 of them. So yeah, these are my plants that cannot take direct sunlight. And here I have baby rue herbs. I cannot witch without rue. Not this one, those ones in the ground, but they're still very little. I don't know the name of these ones, but they are lovely also. And here are my orchids. Look how gorgeous. My beautiful pink orchid. She loves this place in the tree. So this is where I hang my herbs when I need to dry them for witch bottles or potions. And I tie them together like this and leave them here to dry a bit. So I'll show you how I do that. Here I have boldo. I love them. They're purple. Of course I love boldo. And here in Brazil, we use boldo a lot. It has many properties. It helps with hangovers, when you are nauseous, when you are vomiting for whatever reason. We drink boldo tea. We mostly use the leaves, but for some witchy potions, I use the flowers instead. I use the leaves for nausea and the flowers for spells. They attract bees. I love bees. I think they are mini robots, like artificial intelligence created by aliens to monitor us. Okay, I'm just kidding, but I love bees. And here I have some rosemary, so I'm just going to tie boldo, rosemary, and fennel together. And this creates the perfect mix for some of the potions and witch bottles that I make. And then I use either sun water or moon water inside my bottles with the herbs. So I just tie them like this and I hang them, and in a few days they are ready to be used. I do that with rue as well, but my rue herbs are too small right now, so I cannot use them. Alright, so now I am going to show you my garden entity as promised. So here she is. This is Jessica. I created Jessica to be a garden servitor and help me in everything I do in my garden. Witch bottles, potions, spells, collecting moon water, sun water, making sure that the space is protected and is free from intrusive energy. So I have 3 versions of Jessica. This is a second version, and I also have another one here. So it's really the same entity split in 3 different bodies, but it's the same entity. And I'll have a separate video explaining how I created Jessica, what is her function in my garden, and how you can create your own garden servitor. It's a game changer, at least it was a game changer for me. Right, so here I have eggplants. I love eggplants. And yeah, look how gorgeous. In a few days I can eat them. And I have no idea how you call that in English, so I am not even going to try. But I eat those as well. And oh, here we have some lovely butterflies. I love butterflies. I love to see butterflies in my garden. And now it's time to cut down my corn because I have already eaten these corns. So I have to destroy the plants now, but I'm not gonna show you because it's really hard to cut corn with my purple cloak. So here I have delicious fruits. How do you call this? Tangerines? Is that how you call it? They are so sweet, but I have so many of them. Even if I drink juice every single day, 3 times a day, I can still not eat all these fruits, so I give them to my neighbor. And I have a neighbor across the street that gives me bananas. So yeah. And now I'm gonna show you my fairy house. So I wanted to have a place in my garden to connect with the fairies because they help me in my practice a lot. I even made a broom, so I always leave the place clean and neat for them. In nights of full moon, I light the candles and I leave them fairy cake and moon water. I think they help me energize my potions and my spells. Fairies are not servitors, they have a life of their own. But I created Jessica to work with the elementals, so they are a team. And I reward my fairies as well with moon water or sun water, and even cakes that I leave in that tiny cauldron. Here is a well where I leave moon water or sun water. And then sometimes I use the water in the well to water my plants because I think water that has been offered to the fairies are energized and special. So they help the plants grow happily. So maybe if I give my Venus flytraps fairy water, the Venus flytrap is not going to eat my fairies. So that's my logic here. And here are my violets. They also receive fairy water, or water that has been offered to the fairies before. And then I use the water also for my potions and spells. So now I'll show you inside my fairy house. It's not ready yet. There are still things that need to be done in the house, but I am going to show you what I have done so far. So I of course painted purple inside, and here I have mini witch hats that I made myself. So I know they're supposed to be fairies, not witches, but I don't know, I just imagine them as witchy fairies, if that makes any sense. So here is inside. They have little curtains as well, and I have another broomstick here because, you know, I am a Virgo, so I want to make sure everything is clean inside. So here it is. I have a little bed over there, a rocking chair. When I leave them offerings, I light the candles like this. And this tells the fairies that there is an offering coming, whether it's a cake, whether it's sun water, moon water. And I also make sure that I put a little tablecloth. So this is actually sun water. So I just leave the mini bottle on their table like this. And then I knock on the door so that they know their offering is ready. Yeah, like this. And this is what it looks like at night when it's a full moon night. Then I light the candles, I leave offerings, and I also offer tarot readings under the full moon for those who can be here in person. So we drink some wine, we talk, and we consult the cards. I love offering shadow readings under the moonlight, and I feel Jessica's presence igniting my intuition. So I hope you enjoyed my garden tour. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.